Welcome to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Practice is wrapping up here as we're about to head into qualifying. We're back again, joined by our exclusive Renault driver audio from Malenko and Markle. And it's gonna be a great one here. We got rain and quali, and the weather forecast for the race also looks very peachy. Here we go. The track is open. These drivers most likely going to just put one lap without a mistake and call it a day. Here goes Lando Norris. Lando out on the inters. I believe that's Gasly. No, that would be Verstappen. So here we go, Lando Norris, first one out. Malenko also on an out lap, along with Lewis Hamilton and Antonio Giovinazzi. Here comes Leclerc and Magnussen. Again, these drivers are just going to try to set a lap without making a mistake here. Key to driving in the rain is being smooth with every input. Throttle, brake, and steering inputs the smoothest they can be. So here we go, 16.5 minutes remaining. Lando Norris comes off the final corner that you have to brake for, and up the gears he goes. Rounding, I believe, turn 13 onto the front straightaway. Here we go. Into turn 1 in 8th gear, wide arc entry. Through the S's he goes, right alongside the left curb. Now on the exit, right in the outside curb just a little bit. Verstappen there in the background as well. Here comes Norris into 4. Out of the carousel and up the hill he goes. This is turn 5 up here. Long sweeping right-hander down the short chute to turn 6, a heavy braking point on the track. Through 7, up the hill again. This one's turn 8.
Just went through Malenko. Feels weird now.
Turn 8, up the gears through turn 9.
What did you say to me?
Through turn 10.
Said that turn you went through a little bit ago, the one where it seemed like you could just let out the gas. It feels weird now to me. I think it was like
then
turn
through
8 or
turn
something.
12, Lando Norris coming now into turn 13 to the start finish line. Norris sets the first lap.
Yeah.
A 1:21.233. Verstappen goes quick with a 1:21.023. Norris 2/10 off. Next we should be joined by, there's Giovinazzi, there's Hamilton and Malenko to the top of the charts. Malenko 1:19.4.
By 1.5 seconds.
Verstappen a second and a half off. Vettel goes 5th quickest. Leclerc goes 5th quickest. Magnussen goes 7th. We're next joined by George Russell, Robert Kubica.
Malenko, you said a 1:19.4, and Max says a 1:21.0.
Russell goes 8th quickest. Kubica goes 10th quickest.
Damn.
We're next joined by Albon and Bottas.
Well, they are awful in the rain. I already knew I was gonna destroy their lap.
That's so bad.
Here comes Gasly and Perez on an out lap. Carlos Sainz on an out lap. On board with Albon. Albon's had a great season thus far. I believe about to get into double-digit points on the season. Here comes Grosjean and Stroll. On outlaps as well, we await Kimi Räikkönen, Daniel Kvyat, and Tyler Markle. Valtteri Bottas and Albon are on fast laps right now. On board for Albon, out of turn 10 through 11. The hill now through turn 12. Through turn 13, to the start finish line, Alexander Albon. He will go 8th quickest. Valtteri Bottas up next. Bottas goes 9th quickest.
How much is that for?
It's a brand new
60.
game, so $60. Sergio Perez right now on a fast lap along with Pierre Gasly, Romain Grosjean as well. We await Raikkonen now on a new out lap. Stroll, Kvyat coming to the start finish line.
Damn, looking at that now. In Sector 1, 3/10 faster than Verstappen. Sector 2, 9/10 faster than Verstappen. Sector 3, 3/10 faster than Verstappen.
Exactly.
And these guys, they're tough in Sector 2. Very tight and technical section of the track. Daniel Kvyat on an out lap here. Raikkonen. Everybody's now on fast laps if they haven't set one yet. Albon and Bottas heading back to the pit lane. Here comes Perez. He's headed up by Gasly. Through turn 11 and up the hill we go again to the start finish line. This time Perez looking to try to get into the top 10 here. Gasly following suit. Perez, he goes 9th quickest. Gasly goes 2nd quickest. 1.3 seconds off the fastest lap. Carlos Sainz will be the next one to set a lap time. He goes 6th quickest. Romain Grosjean up next. Grosjean goes 14th quickest. We should next be joined by Stroll. And Stroll in the racing point, looking for about 12th. Gets 14th. Here's Kimi Räikkönen. The Finn racing in the Alfa Romeo, coming to the start finish line. He will go 11th here in qualifying. And the second to last driver to set a lap time, Daniel Kvyat, trying to match up with his teammate Alexander Albon. Kvyat goes 10th quickest. So now we just wait for Tyler Markle to come out and set a lap time. 10.5 minutes remaining here in qualifying.
Talking to me or the dog? You. Me? I don't mind how easy it is.
So drivers now heading back to the pits here. That would be Grosjean
Gasly
and
just
Stroll.
hit Perez going into pit lane.
Here comes Tyler Markle out onto the racetrack. It's a clear racetrack. He's in the Renault. His Renault teammate right now on the top spot. Right now leading the points. See if Tyler Markle can make a good season even better. Right now on race 6. He goes into this race with a 21-point lead. I'm sorry, a 19-point lead over Lewis Hamilton. Meanwhile, his teammate in the Renault, Malenko, he's a healthy 38 points behind his teammate. Malenko needs some luck to go his way before he falls out of championship contention. A long season to go. It's very doable, but needs some luck starting about now. What makes it harder is if his teammate Markle continues to gain even more points on him. Remember, the distance in points from first to second place on any given race is 7, not to mention that the fastest lap also awards an extra point. Here comes Tyler Markle on board of Tyler. Up the gears he goes, coming to the start finish line. We're going to go on a hot lap with Tyler in Bahrain. 8th gear, and here we go under the F1 2019 bridge. Down the 3rd gear through turn 1. Down to 2nd. Up the gears we go again, downhill through VS's. 4th gear, missing the apex of turn 3. Up the 6th gear. 7th, and so on. Down the short chute to turn 4. No braking markers for him. He comes into turn 4, clips the apex, rides the outside curb, and out he goes. Now through turn 5. Up the hill we go again to turn 6. Through the second part of the S's now as he heads into turn 8. The gears and up the hill again. Down to the third gear into the heavy braking point. Through turn 9, down the short chute to turn 10. Down the second gear, that's the last braking point up the lap. He's got to go up the hill now. 5th, 6th, and 7th now. Flying through the final corners, coming to the start-finish line. Tyler Markle, he's looking for pole. He's not going to get it. He's going to be half a second off his Renault teammate. What a lap that was.
Malika, did I lose most time to you in the middle?
You lost time to me everywhere but the third sector, and you only gained the third sector by like 300ths.
Okay.
You lost 2/10 in sector 1, 4/10 in sector 2, and only gained 400ths back in sector 3.
So sector 1 was the first turn, for sure. Sector 2, just the car slid into 2 turns.
So as the Renault retires back to the pit lane, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel
Slowest in
on
speed
out
trap.
laps.
I'm not surprised. I'm not balanced setup anyways.
Thing.
The rain has cleared. The track slightly drier. Vettel, Leclerc on enters along with Verstappen. Let's see, maybe these drivers can try to get a dry lap in before this session is over. It's gonna be close though. I don't know how quick or how dry the track is to these drivers. But the Ferraris definitely think it's time for enter still. Verstappen as well. Hamilton and Norris, they fit the softs. So does George Russell. It could be time for dry laps.
So weather-wise,
5 minutes remaining here in qualifying. DRS is enabled. So the stewards think it's dry enough for dry laps. Leclerc and Vettel, they are going to be at the bottom of the order if they don't get the pit lane now and fit some softer tires. Lando Norris comes out on an out lap. We expect Lewis Hamilton to as well. Here comes Russell, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Markle, and Malenko preparing to go out. Charles Leclerc. He does abort his lap. Does he have enough time to get back into his pit stall and fit in some soft tires? Verstappen makes his way to pit lane. Here comes Sebastian Vettel to pit lane. Meanwhile, now we watch Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Kevin Magnussen, George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi. 5 drivers on out laps now. They're on the soft tires, so Norris again is going to head the herd to faster lap times this time. Riding on board with Norris, get an even hotter lap on dry track. Here comes Malik on an outlap. Caution in sector 2. And that has gone away quickly. Here comes Lando Norris. He's catching up to a Renault here.
I can tell it's not exactly dry at this point, though.
Of the track.
Still a lot of, you struggle for traction coming out at least the final turn.
And Lando Norris to the start-finish line. He goes top of the charts, a 1:15.4. Lewis Hamilton goes quicker, a 1:15.2. So, here we go. And the times they, according to Malenko, the times are still bound to pick up as drivers find more and more traction throughout the track drying. Russell goes third quickest. And Kevin Magnussen top of the charts, a 1:14.722. This is going to go to the end with a bunch of varying different drivers. Are the Ferraris going to get back out there? Here comes a lot of drivers now. Giovinazzi goes second quickest. We have Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Hamilton, Norris, and Russell right now. Here comes Malenko, and everybody's on outlaps. Malenko goes top of the chart, a 1:12.075. Now we await Tyler Markle. We're gonna have a bunch more joining us here. If you watch that, the chart, it's gonna get lit up here. The Ferraris aren't outlaps. They did get those tires changed.
Markle's definitely gonna have better track than me. I was still struggling.
Caution in sector 2. And he goes wide through turn 9. I'm sorry, turn 11. So he goes, coming through turn 13, 14, and 15. Here we go to the start-finish line. Markle goes top of the chart, a 1:11.5. Malenko second quickest, Bottas third quickest, Kubica fourth quickest, Magnussen fifth, Giovinazzi, Hamilton, Norris, Russell. We await more lap times. It's about to be crazy on that board. Sebastian Vettel will not get a lap in. Or will he? I don't know if it's a glitch on the timing chart. So here we go, Albon, right now 16th quickest, coming to the start-finish line. Albon, top of the charts! Sainz, top of the charts, a 1:10.9.
I told you, the track was so drying out. I went out too early.
Leclerc, top of the charts, a 1:10.941.
Yeah, there's still no grip for me.
Verstappen goes quicker, 1:10. Pierre Gasly, top of the charts.
I almost spun out of the
Vettel
final
goes
corner.
third quickest.
Yeah, well, on the lap I almost spun coming out the
And
final
Pierre
corner.
Gasly has locked up his first pole. Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. Your top 5. So how about that? Pierre Gasly on the pole.
Hey.
Went out too early.
And these Renault drivers, they're going to have their work cut out for them here. The other 9 teams, they timed it out perfectly when they came out. Well, not Mercedes. Mercedes is also missing from the top 10. We have Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Toro Rosso. Williams was up there at one point. I don't know where they went. what a turn of events there towards the end of qualifying. The track just got dry enough to set lap times down, and drivers went out with soft tires, and they went at it. So here we go. These drivers, they wait their formation lap here at the Interlagos circuit.
Whatever.
So here we go. The 20 drivers gridded up and ready to go for 36 laps. We got one formation lap. Before we do that, let's get through our starting lineup here in just a second. All that sorted out. There we go. And I think we're ready to go, because this is a weird lineup we've got. So on the front row, it's a double Red Bull front row. Pierre Gasly on the pole. And in second position, we have the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. In row 2, it's a double Ferrari second row. We have Sebastian Vettel starting third and Charles Leclerc starting fourth. In row 3, it's a McLaren and a Toro Rosso. We have Carlos Sainz starting fifth and Daniel Kvyat starting sixth. In row 7, it's the Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen. Row 4, Alfa Romeo Kimi Raikkonen starts 7th, and the Racing Point of Sergio Perez starts 8th. In row 5, we have the Haas of Romain Grosjean, and the Racing Point of Lance Stroll. In row 6, we have the Toro Rosso of Alexander Albon, and the Renault of Tyler Markle. In row 7, we have the Renault of Malenko, and the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. In row 8, we have the Williams of Robert Kubica, and the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. In row 9, we have the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi. Alongside of him, we have the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. And in row 10, we have the McLaren of Lando Norris and the Williams of George Russell. These drivers, they headed back to the start-finish line now. They're going to get gridded up here. It's a fast track. It's 15 turns, a lot of long sweeping corners. And it's time to go, 36 laps. These drivers, these teams are also worried about rain coming towards the end. So, see if that plays an impact on the running order as we get further into the race. 36 laps, it's time to go. Here we go, it's time to bring the action. We've got 5 red lights, you know it. And it's lights out, and away we go. The Red Bull's off to a great start. Verstappen trying to close on Gasly. They're side by side. Here comes Charles Leclerc looking to the outside. 3 wide through turn 1. Leclerc falls back. Gasly still trying to hold on to the lead. Here comes Verstappen. Gasly and Vettel are going at it for third. Side by side down the short chute. Still the Red Bulls. It's double wide all the way down to turn 4. We're running formation laps around here. Verstappen and Gasly, Leclerc and Vettel still all side by side. Up the hill we go to Red Bull still side by side. Gasly clears Verstappen. Vettel holds on to third over Leclerc. Tyler Markle up 5 positions from where he started there in that Renault. Trying to get around that Toro Rosso and powers around Daniel Kvyat. Valtteri Bottas up 3 spots from where he started, and Malenko only up 1. Malenko looking to get around Valtteri around the outside. He goes into turn number 12. He can't get there. He tries to fall back in line and get back on Valtteri. Pierre Gasly with the fastest lap. Vettel with a huge run on Verstappen. Looking to the outside. He can't get there. On board Tyler Markle because he's a-coming. Looks like Vettel did get to the outside of Verstappen there. Leclerc trying to get into the mix as well. Markle looking for 5th on Sainz. Vettel looking to clear Verstappen. Side by side through turn 6 and through 7. Verstappen powers around the outside, but Vettel's still there in turn 8. Verstappen has the preferred line through turn 9. Vettel hangs tough on the outside. Vettel now has the preferred line into turn 10. Vettel will clear Verstappen around a hairpin they go. Up the gears we go through turn 11. Pierre Gasly, never thought I'd say this, is driving away from Sebastian Vettel. Tyler Marko now approaches the double Ferrari sandwich in front of him. Wow, Verstappen really aggressive there, trying to get by Vettel. Oh, looking to go 3 wide into turn 1. They all stay single file. Leclerc to the inside of Verstappen. And DRS is enabled. Gasly got the fastest lap that time by as well. Perez up to 8th. Vettel, Verstappen still go. I'm sorry, Leclerc and Verstappen going at it for 3rd. Here comes the Racing Point looking to make it 3 wide. They're going 3 wide through turn 4. Through turn 5, the Renault clears the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Leclerc trying to hold on to 4th from Verstappen. He does get 4th. Verstappen goes from 2nd to 5th on this start now. The Renault up 9 spots from where he started. Tyler Marko now looking to get by Sebastian Vettel. A little bit of loss of traction there through turn 9. Now go up to the 10th.
What the crap? And here goes.
Something amiss on Renault. Holds on to the 2nd spot for now. 10 places above where he started. On board Sebastian Vettel, huge run on the Renault. Sebastian Vettel will clear Tyler Marko. Here comes Carlos Sainz diving to the inside of Leclerc. He can't get there. But Sainz up the spot on Verstappen, I believe. Yep, Sainz will clear Verstappen out of turn 3. Here comes Daniel Kvyat looking to get by former teammate Max Verstappen. Here comes Sergio Perez as well. He can't get there. Tyler Marko back by Sebastian Vettel, but we're not going to leave you there. Because we got Kvyat and Verstappen going at it toe-to-toe. And Kvyat gets the better hand out of Verstappen. Something amiss on that Red Bull, dropping down the order like a rock. I never thought I'd say this, but Pierre Gasly just opened the gap even more to Tyler Marko. Now Marko looks to close it down. It was 5.2 seconds. The whole running order shook up from the start, and the first 4 laps of this race about to come to a close here. Verstappen really dropping down the order. Perez had a shot at him through turn 15. Oh, and a dive from last year. Here comes Malenko up the inside of Perez up to the 8th position. And Leclerc gets shoved out of line. Leclerc losing spots quickly, loses the spot to Sainz, Kvyat. Malenko diving to the inside of Verstappen. That's another spot Verstappen loses. Verstappen fights back hard on the inside, but it's cleared by the Renault on the exit of 9. Malenko diving to the inside of Leclerc. Leclerc loses 3 spots out of that exchange. Malenko up 7 from where he started. Tyler Marko has only closed the gap about 0.3 of a second. And they're going at it. Sainz looking for the podium here, trying to clear Vettel into 1. All these guys nose to tail. Malenko looking for a spot from Kvyat. Kvyat shoves Malenko out wide. Now Malenko trying to fight back on Kvyat. And the Renault does clear Kvyat. Now he set the sights on Sebastian Vettel.
Damn,
Diving to the inside of Vettel. And clear the Renault up to 4th. Malenko up 9 from where he started. And out of that cluster, he set the sights on Carlos Sainz. Vettel falling down the pack. Here comes Kvyat from run from last year around the outside of the Renault. Here comes Verstappen diving to the inside. They go 3 wide through turn 1. Somehow Malenko comes out on top of that. Malenko looking to get back to Kvyat. Malenko looking to the outside of Kvyat. And clears Kvyat. Now that Renault, he looks to get after it because he sets his sights on Carlos Sainz and the McLaren in front of him. Our teammate Tyler Markle has really been struggling to try to close that gap to Gasly, now down to 4.3 seconds. Verstappen the 5th over Kvyat. Grosjean into the points. Now battling Sebastian Vettel for the 8th position. He'll clear Vettel. Something to note is that Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton are running 14th and 15th right now in the order. Very unusual from them. Hamilton up 3 spots from where he started still. Valtteri now down 1 spot from where he started.
motherfucker.
And now Pierre Gasly opening up the gap a little bit more to that Renault. 4.6 seconds that lap. Meanwhile, teammate Malenko, they won 12.581, 9 laps on these tires, plus whatever he ran in qualifying. More of Malenko, he looks to get around Sainz. Malenko dives to the inside of Sainz. And he clears Sainz through turn 9. Now 9.3 seconds off of Pierre Gasly, 5 seconds off of teammate Tyler Markle. Malenko on a mission. There's a caution in sector 2 and 3. And that's Max Verstappen. In trouble now. Slow on the left side of the racetrack, and he's done. He's found a couple marshals and pulled it off. Verstappen is done. Charles Leclerc into the pit lane. He's going to go from the softs to the softs. And he repairs the front wing. So there must have been an issue with Charles Leclerc and maybe Max Verstappen getting into it, and Verstappen getting the worst part of it, but Leclerc having to repair a front wing. And now Sebastian Vettel's fallen out of the top 10. He's back to 12th, and meanwhile Hamilton's gone from 15th to 11th. Hamilton's on a tear. This is gonna do Charles Leclerc big time in points. Entered this race 24 points. No, 23 points behind Tyler Markle. And he's definitely now gonna fall out of a race distance between himself and Markle if he does not get into the top 10. Because Tyler is having himself the greatest race as Gasly into the pit lane relinquishes the lead. Here comes Sainz as well. The Renaults take over the top 2 spots yet again. Here comes Sergio Perez, Romain Grosjean, Kimi Räikkönen, Sebastian Vettel into the pit lane.
Are you pitting this time, Marco?
Yep.
Alright, so I have to go out another lap, even though they told me to pit this time.
Ooh. So Sainz, Kvyat, Grosjean, Raikkonen, and Vettel all pit. Leclerc comes in a lap earlier but has to repair the front wing, so Leclerc back into 16th. And Vettel, absolutely abysmal right now, came out of pit lane as the last car, comes out 19th.
Marco, what the fuck is wrong with you? I caught you like 2 seconds this lap.
I still have wing damage. I've had wing damage the whole time.
Here comes Tyler Markle into the pit lane. Here comes Malenko looking to take over the top spot. Kevin Magnussen into the pit lane. Pierre Gasly stays out. Lando Norris into the pit lane. Lewis Hamilton into the pit lane. Valtteri Bottas stays out. Here comes Albon and Giovinazzi and Russell and Stroll. And pit lane is busy.
Man, I hate that I had to do another lap.
Charles Leclerc with the fastest lap with a new front wing. It's a 1:11.990 for Charles Leclerc. He goes up to 9, battling Grosjean for 10. And battling for Grosjean for 9. Here comes Sergio Perez. He's a 90 outside, inside. Here comes Magnussen onto the racetrack right in front of him. Perez with a double overtaking the turn 4. Magnussen stays out in front of Perez. What a dicey re-entering the track there for Kevin Magnussen, right in front of Perez and Leclerc. Malenko comes into the pit lane now, and Pierre Gasly will take over the race lead. Here comes Valtteri Bottas and Robert Kubica this lap as well. Pierre Gasly to the race lead. Tyler Markle fending off Carlos Sainz. Here comes Sainz looking for second. They're going to be racing on the pit exit. Here comes Malenko. Malenko will hold on to second. 11 seconds behind Pierre Gasly. Now 12 seconds behind Pierre Gasly. Can these Renaults do it? Markle's on a tear, coming from full head of steam. Carlos Sainz trying to get back by Tyler. As Sainz had the position for a brief moment. Kvyat right now 5th. Magnussen, Grosjean 6th. And 7th, Perez, Leclerc, and Hamilton. 10th in the running order. That is 1 point. Not the greatest of races for Lewis Hamilton. He started 18, but right now running 10th before even halfway is a great outlook for Hamilton. Tyler Markle, the fastest lap, a 1:11.768 on the soft compound in that Renault. Grosjean, Magnussen going at it again. We're still not done from France. Leclerc back on Perez. Leclerc up to 8th. Stroll and Giovinazzi going at it in the S's. And Magnussen and Grosjean still go at it side by side. The Haas duo. Norris and Vettel going at it. Norris holds on to 12th over Vettel. On the other hand of this, Sebastian, and the fastest lap goes to Malenko, 111.087 on those softs. Sebastian Vettel started this race from row 2. Right now finds himself in the 13th position trying to fend off Valtteri Bottas. Vettel needs things to go his way quickly here.
What is your pit in lap, Marco?
23rd.
Damn, I don't know why they schedule for the same fucking lap.
Well, you're the lead car, so you get to do what you want.
I know, but I don't know why they schedule us for the same lap in general.
Team communication between Renault drivers there. Following the tradition of lead car gets first pick when it comes to pit stops here. Right now Malenko with a 2.5 second lead over his teammate Tyler Markle, but they are still chasing the man in the Red Bull. It's driver 2 from Red Bull, Pierre Gasly. A 9-second lead here at Interlagos. This time by will be 20 laps remaining in the Grand Prix. Grosjean and Magnussen, they will continue to fight what looks like probably will be the rest of the season. They're still fighting from France. Kubica up to 15th over Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, and Norris going at it. And here comes Vettel, huge run on Norris. Diving to the inside, maybe looks to the outside of Raikkonen, he can't get there. Vettel trying to clear Norris, Norris with the crossover, no, Vettel fights back. This is going on for 12th. Vettel will get to 12. Magnussen and Grosjean continue to battle. Those Haas drivers, they don't know whose driver won.
It's raining.
And you hear back from the Renaults, there is rain on the racetrack. How long does it take this racetrack to get wet? Does it get wet in 6 laps? That is the Renault scheduled pit laps. Whoa, huge run from Grosjean. He had to hit the brakes before he ran into the gearbox of Magnussen. And then who prevails in the wet? Right now, Pierre Gasly with an 8.5 second lead over Renault driver Malenko. In the rain, can Malenko get up to Gasly? Can he gain 8 seconds? Vettel to 11th over Raikkonen. Vettel needs to get back into the points he thinks, and rightfully so. Right now, Vettel 6th in points. He is 37 out from Tyler Markle. Needs to get on it if he wants to contend for a championship later this season.
Well, I'm already getting talked about tires. I mean, probably in a lap or two.
Same.
Leclerc doing a fine job getting himself back into the points. Right now, in 8th place, that is 4 points. And that is 4 points that he has right now over Lewis Hamilton. But Lewis Hamilton gets 2, so he would close the gap between himself and Hamilton down to 2 points.
With this, I have the fastest lap of the race here.
Giovinazzi, Stroll, Russell, and Albon to the pit lane. Is it time for the wet tires?
It is. I'm coming.
Oh, this
Also
is
the
going to
traction
hurt Tyler
carousel.
Markle. Yep, Giovinazzi and Stroll onto the inners. Russell and Albon as well. Tyler Markle has to go an extra lap unless he wants to get stacked with his teammate. DRS is disabled. We now await Pierre Gasly to work his way to pit lane this time. Stroll, Giovinazzi, Albon, and Russell have the advantage of pitting a lap earlier than everybody else. Here comes Pierre Gasly. Malenko to pit lane. Tyler Markle does go to pit lane, so he will be stacking behind his Renault teammate. Whoa! And rightfully so. He losing control there on the entry to pit lane. Who knows what would have been a lap later. Here comes Carlos Sainz. Oh, this is going to be interesting between Magnussen and Grosjean. Grosjean stays out. He doesn't want to get stacked. Here comes Leclerc. Hamilton spinning on the pit lane. Makes a collision with Sergio Perez. Vettel, he's going to have to stack up behind Leclerc. And Hamilton! Hamilton stuck behind Vettel, who stacked! Hamilton lost a lot of time!
What is wrong with Haas? Look at Grosjean. What? What? That man's still on soft.
Grosjean was right behind his teammate.
Man went another lap on soft. Well, we know who really is driver one.
And all that...
Wait, in real life, Magnussen.
All that... Hamilton still comes out in the 10th position after being held up by the Ferraris stacking Sebastian Vettel. Vettel falls back to the 14th position. Leclerc, treated like the princess he is, comes out in 8th out of all of that. I believe Stroll is the one who had damage on the pit entry. No, it was Perez. Perez is missing part of his left of the wing, or part of his left front wing. Here comes Grosjean to the pit lane. Oh, and he crashes on the pit lane.
Oh, we're gonna have to go to heavy wets at some point.
Leclerc to 7th over Grosjean. Everybody will get that spot.
I don't want to go to heavy wet.
And all that, let's take a look at Romain Grosjean and where he comes out. Remember, he was battling for 6th with Kevin Magnussen. Grosjean comes out in the 14th position. Valtteri Bottas gets even more destroyed. He stacked up behind Hamilton. Hamilton had to wait for Vettel to go into the box. And Valtteri Bottas comes out 19th. Pierre Gasly now 6 seconds out in front of the Renault Malenko. And Tyler Markle, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Most likely cutting the corner there. Turn 2, very, very tempting to cut that corner, but you just have to refrain yourself from doing it. And right there, that Renault is a prime example. Good news for him, as he is 12 seconds out in front of Carlos Sainz and around this Markle. He had a podium in the bag. Huge trouble for the point leader. Lewis Hamilton now up to the 8th position. And with that, if Hamilton even finishes 8th, right now he's looking for 7th on Sergio Perez. But if Hamilton finishes 8th, that is 4 points he gets. And that'll close the gap between himself and Tyler Markle to 15 points. If he gets by Perez, that is 6 points he gets, which will close it down to 13 points. Leclerc right now in 6th, he gets 8 points to his total. And that would close it down to 15 points between himself and Markle. So Markle will not get points. Malika, by the way, really needs to capitalize with this race because he is 38 points behind his teammate and point leader Tyler Markle. This now has to be the best opportunity for him to gain the most points he can. Kvyat to 4th on Magnussen. And Magnussen clears Kvyat again. Magnussen holding on to the 4th position.
I'll be back.
Here, Don Carlos.
Right now, Kvyat in 5th, trying to hold on to 5th from Charles Leclerc. Do these drivers have to pit for heavy wets? And when is the question. Hamilton to the 7th position on Perez, closing the point lead at the moment, down to 13 points. Malenko's now closed the gap to under 2 seconds between himself and Pierre Gasly. We watch Malenko now, 1.3 seconds away from getting to Pierre Gasly. Again, driving in the rain comes out to how smooth are your inputs, gas, brake, and steering. You don't want to overdrive the car. You don't want to spin it out. And Malenko get to Gasly and pass Gasly without the aids of DRS now, under 1 second. 30 seconds long clear of Carlos Sainz, who's running 3rd. Malenko closing the gap down the front stretch. Gonna brake early to preserve that front wing from any sort of danger. Now a huge run on Pierre Gasly. This could be what he needs. Here we go, side by side, coming to turn 4. Malenko does clear Pierre Gasly, and now he's got to hold on to that lead for 11 laps. Think about it like this. Malenko winning this race puts him 13 points out of the points lead. Because Tyler Markle is not getting any points. 12
It would be
points
cool.
out of the points lead with the fastest lap.
Yeah, it would be cool.
The likelihood of the fastest lap being broken now is 0 because it is raining and these drivers run significantly slower in the rain. I'd like to see a driver try, and if a driver does break the fastest lap that's currently set, it would be the lap of the century.
Well, I'm running 10 seconds off my time, so.
Malenko now up to open up a 1.5 second lead over Pierre Gasly. 31 seconds over third position Carlos Sainz. Sainz another 9 seconds over Magnussen.
Well, I was told we would be going ahead of like this.
Leclerc, less than a second now for Magnussen. Leclerc looking for fourth. If Leclerc gets fourth, that is 12 points he gets, and that puts himself 11 points out of the points lead. So a huge race for all of these drivers in the top 10 in points to capitalize on it. Max Verstappen also will not capitalize on it, so Verstappen's going to drop from fourth in points. Definitely down the order.
The AI up to 100 also.
Yes.
Oh, my AI, I should say.
Right.
Did you put like the user AI up to 100?
Yes.
Then you'd be right there.
Leclerc trying to get to fourth on Magnussen. Hamilton up to seventh, looking at Kvyat for sixth. So huge opportunities now for Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel needs to get into the points right now, running 11. Malenko would get a huge race out of this. Sainz running third would get a huge kick out of this race as well. Right now Sainz 50 points back. This finish alone will put him now at 35 points. Leclerc and Magnussen, they're going at it for the fourth position. Side by side, the Haas of Magnussen on the left side, right side of your screen, Leclerc on the left side of your screen. Side by side through 4 and 5 now. Leclerc clears Magnussen. Lewis Hamilton's closing on Daniel Kvyat.
Maybe actually nearing everyone. I lost tons of traction into one.
These drivers are going ever so slowly around this racetrack. And you heard it there from Malenko. Heavy wets are probably on the horizon as we approach 6 laps remaining in the Grand Prix. For his time by will be 7 laps remaining in the Grand Prix, my bad. And Daniel Kvyat into the pit lane. But he's the only one into the pit lane. No, here comes Lando Norris. Kvyat into the pit lane. He fits on. Another set of inters. Norris puts on another set of inters. Vettel with another set of inters. Raikkonen as well, Perez, Giovinazzi. He's putting on inters. So Kvyat, Norris, Vettel, Raikkonen, Perez, Russell, Giovinazzi, Bottas, Grosjean, and Albon all put on inters. Kubica puts on fresh inters. Gasly to the pit lane, putting on fresh inters. And Vettel now comes out in the points with a 10th position right now. Sainz into the pit lane now. Along with Leclerc and Magnussen. Yep, Sainz, Leclerc, Magnussen all put on fresh inters. Lance Stroll to pit lane. Fresh intermediates. Here comes... Oh! Stroll puts on inters. Kvyat back into the pit lane. He fits full wets. Kvyat fits full wets. Norris does as well. Vettel as well. Norris, Kvyat, Vettel, Raikkonen, Perez, Albon, Bottas, everybody to the pit lane. Malenko into the pit lane now, fitting full wets.
I knew it was about heavy wet weather at that point when I went to 1 and I came back.
So Kvyat, Norris, Vettel, Raikkonen, Perez, Bottas, Grosjean, Giovinazzi, Russell, Albon, Kubica, Malenko, and Gasly fit the full wets. We wait on Sainz, Leclerc, Magnussen, Hamilton, Stroll to make their moves. Here comes Sainz. Leclerc, Magnussen, Hamilton.
I'm back.
Everybody fitting full wets. We wait on Lance Stroll to fit full wets now. Here comes Stroll. The lack of traction made this call necessary. So right now, Malenko and that Renault team looks the smartest. They kept their driver out an extra lap, waited till everybody else fitted full wet tires, and now he has an entire pit stop lead on the rest of the field. He has a 22 second lead on Pierre Gasly. Who's running second? Carlos Sainz, 39 seconds off. So we're joined with Tyler Markle now. Tyler, tell us about what happened there with you on the intermediates coming off of turn 5.
Clipped the curb and just spun. Did it on the last game too, so same thing, if you hit it you'll go around. And then you hit the wall and just take the tire. So, my mistake.
Were you pushing to try to catch Malenko, or were you just kind of settling in? You did have a podium in the bag.
I was just trying to settle in. I wasn't fast enough to catch up. And I was just maybe trying to keep pace to keep up to maybe get Gazzy.
Right now, most of your competitors are going to take this day with an amazing advancement towards you. You're going to go from a at least 19-point lead over Hamilton. You're going to go to, from Hamilton at least, down to 13 points. Hamilton right now is running 6th. That is actually going to be 8 points to his total, which puts him at 67. It'll be a 12-point lead or 11-point lead you have over Lewis Hamilton.
If he doesn't catch Magnussen, yes.
If he catches Magnussen, that'll make it a 9-point lead.
I went into this race 38 back, and I'm going to come out 12 back.
That's right. So now, what do you feel about having now more of a battle with your teammate? At least now, as we head into race 7, we're heading closer to the 1/3 mark of the season. Do you think you're still the favorite for the title? Do you think you can pull back the gap you already had open?
I think I can pull back the gap, and then I think it'll be fun to race against your teammate.
Alright, well, here we are here. Malenko, you see him sliding around there even with the heavy wet tires. That is insane. He's coming around at 3 laps remaining here at the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Come on, Kevin.
Hamilton to 5th. Working Kevin Magnussen over. Side by side. I believe that's coming out of the turn 3. Down the short chute. Magnussen holds on to 5th.
And now we're also going to match each other in wins, 2 apiece.
Perez and Stroll going at it for 11th. That's not for points. Vettel up to 9th. He did get himself back into the points after the pit stop massacre, with Leclerc being boxed, Vettel being stacked, Hamilton in his box, and Bottas
don't
being
about
stacked.
light rain conditions. We have fucking 3 to go. We're really 2.5. I'm gonna fuck if there's light rain coming.
You can see offline where drivers are running are huge puddles. I mean, absolutely massive puddles that you can hydroplane on the side of the racing line here. Especially on the bottoms of the banked corners. The racing line is absolutely the only place you can be, because there is death puddles all around the racing line. 2.5 laps remain. Coming around to 2 laps remaining here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is a 25...
12 seconds off my fastest lap.
12 seconds off the fastest lap, but 26 seconds over second place. Russell to 15th over Giovinazzi. "27 seconds. This is insane. He has put everybody but the top 4 a lap down.
It's been a weird pit stop race. Here comes Hamilton and Magnus.
They're already with the top 7 1 lap down.
They're touching. Hamilton can't do it. Come on, Magnussen.
You hear Tyler Markle, he's here in the booth with us. He's rooting Magnussen on because if Magnussen finishes in front of Hamilton, that is a bigger gap Markle has over Hamilton. Hamilton right now second in the points. As we run, I believe Leclerc or Malenko will be second in points.
This is the fun.
So again, Leclerc gaining 12 points out of a 4th place finish. We put him 67 points. That's 11 points behind Markle. Hamilton at the moment with 8 points. That puts him 11 points behind Markle. Malenko right now with a 26 points he would gain. Would put him 13 points behind, or 12 points behind Markle.
So they wanted to do Fortnite now, or we good as that?
Oh, they wanted to do that Fortnite thing with us, but I don't care.
Malenko with the win of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Pierre Gasly with the second. And Charles Leclerc finishing 3rd.
He was only like 2 tenths behind whoever.
Pierre second, I want my money back.
So Leclerc now pulls to 9 points behind, 8 points behind Tyler Markle. Pierre Gasly pulls up to 2nd in the point standings.
That's an added penalty.
And we were able to finish the race, and look at that. Charles Leclerc 8 points out from the points lead.
It's
Lewis
perfectly
Hamilton
sunny in the background.
Lewis Hamilton 9 points off. Malenko 12 points off. Pierre Gasly 18 points off. 5 drivers within 1 race of each other heading into race 7.
Alright, I would like to do one more, but if we can't, we can't.
Taking a look at the constructor standings, Renault is absolutely destroying Scuderia Ferrari.
Here's the point standings on my screen.
And the Grand Prix results here. Verstappen winning race 1, followed by Markle, then Markle, Malenko, Leclerc, and Malenko with the win in Brazil. Pierre Gasly, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton gets the 5th position.
Only
over
2
Magnussen.
drivers have no points right now.
Kvyat, Norris,
and
Raikkonen, Perez.
Alright, ending shoot.
As Markle said, 2 drivers are the only ones who haven't scored points. That is Giovinazzi and Kubica. Even Raikkonen and Russell have scored 4 points for those teams. Albon with 5, Grosjean, Kvyat, Stroll with 6, and Perez with 9 at the single-digit club.